says, obviously we're not asking you to draw a whole graph, we're just asking you to draw a gradient. So it doesn't, if we want a gradient of 3, remember it has to be written as a fraction, so 3 is what? As a fraction? 3 over 1. Good, so 3 over 1, I don't care where you put your first point, but from there, how would you draw the gradient of 3? You would go up 3 across 1, and it would be to the right. See, up and to the right. Does that make sense? All right. Can you then join them, etc.? Actually, can you do it twice, up 3 across 1, and get 3 points in a row? Is that all right? Otherwise, you'll end up drawing it crooked. Can you do it twice, please? So then you do a gradient of 2. Do you know what to do? I'll just do a -1. So gradient of -2, how do you want to do it? So you've got to be careful. Can we always go up? I prefer to go up. How would I do a gradient of -2? 2 over? Good. So start down here somewhere and let's go. Up to, oh no, don't start there. That's going to be bad. So let's go up to, back -1. Do you see? Negative lines go this way. Do you know what I mean? Gradient. Up to, back -1. Got the idea? Up to, back -1. And you can join your points on the steps. Got the idea? Good. Next one is looking at the equation of a line just given the graph. Right, girls, looking at this question, it's the front of the booklet. Can you see B is always the y-intercept? What is it? See, there's the y-intercept. It's -2. Now, from that y-intercept, I want you to find another really nice point on the graph that you can see. It's at 3. So how do I get from -2 to this point? So up 2 and across 3. So the rise is 2 and the run is 3. So the gradient is 2/3. Do you see that? So from this bottom point, and I'm shouting, I'm rising 2 and I'm running 3. Up and across to the right, they're both positive. The other thing is that's a positive gradient. So what's the equation of that line? Y equals mx plus b. What's my m? What's my m? So it's y equals 2/3 x, and what's my plus b? It's -2. My b is -2, so it's y equals 2/3 x minus 2. Now, at the bottom, it's saying 20, comma. Is that 20 the x value or the y value? No. Always a point is x, y. When x is 20, we're not going to get a nice point. But if this graph were to continue and I got x is 20 over here, actually, I don't really like that value. Can I change it? Has anyone done it yet? Can I choose, say, when x is 12? We'll get a nice number. So let's say if x was 12, instead of you trying to draw it and continue, what's 2 divided by 3 times 12 equal? Take away 2. So if x was 12, this is the rule that tells you the relationship between x and y. If x was 12, girls, just have a little guess. Roughly, what do you think it would be? If x was 12, 5, 6, at least. I'm thinking 5 or 6. Y should be 5 or 6. We'd be up here somewhere. Let's have a look. So on your calculator, 2 divided by 3 times 12 minus 2. Do you get it? If x was, so what's 2/3 of 12? Well, a third of 12 is 4. 2/3 of 12 is 8. 2. Guys, 2/3 x means 2 over 3 is a fraction times whatever x is. Now we're saying when x is 12. 2/3 of x. 2/3 of 12 minus 2. You get 8. No. You get 6. Didn't we say we thought we'd get roughly 6? So girls, I've changed the question. If I was to extend this line, now extending a line and working out a point that's not on that graph is called extrapolating. Continuing the line and working out what a point is. But of course I can't draw that. I don't get any accuracy beyond this grid. So what you can do, once you know what the formula is or the rule is, you can substitute any x value to work out a y value. Okay? So, next question. Let's go. Yes. Next question, girls. What's the y-intercept? Tell me about that line. Is it positive gradient, negative gradient? Good. Girls, I want you to choose, there's a nice point, 4. Can you choose another nice point? I think the 3 is a good one. You don't have to start from there. I need the gradient of that line. I like to start, so they're my 2 points, and I'm going to work out the gradient between those 2 points. How do I do it? I want to start from here. If I start from here, what do I do? Rise. Am I running forwards or backwards? So I'm rising 4, running backwards -3. So a positive divided by a negative is a negative. So the gradient's -4 on 3. Now, girls, let's say, but I said before you've got to start at this point. Let's say you did start at this point and go down to this one. What would it have been? -4 over +3. Same answer. All right? So it doesn't matter. Choose your 2 points. I like to start at the bottom and say rise and then either run forwards or backwards. So what's the equation of this line? -4/3 x. What's the y-intercept? +4. So girls, if this equation continued, this line up here, what value of y would you get for -3? I can't read it on the graph. It would be up here somewhere. I'm thinking 8 or 7. Right, but let's see. Here's my equation. So I'm going to put -3 in here. So what's -4/3? So watch. I'll do it here. Y equals -4/3 times 3 plus 4. Do you know what I can do with this 3 and that 3? Anyone? You can cancel them, but... Oh, it's -3, by the way. All right. Sorry, no wonder. All right, what's -4 times -3? +12 divided by 3 is? 4 plus 4 is? Okay, so if this graph was to be continued, when x is -3, this would be 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks right to me. All right, it looks right. But what I can do is, yes, that's the equation of that line. But now, once I know the rule of the line, I can put in any x value I want and work out what the y value would be, especially if it's off the graph. Got what I'm saying? All right. Okay, do you want to try the last 2? And what I'm going to do is 0. And what's the rise over the run? That's a nice point, and so's that. So what's my rise? What's my run? 1/2. So we've got a half. So y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b is going to be y equals a half x plus 0. I don't need the plus 0. Got the idea? Now, this is down here. X is... So girls, isn't the y value... To get the y value, you halve the x value. Well, if y is 1.25, which is here, that's right. If y is 1.25, which is here, what do you think x is going to be? All right. 2 times that. See, if y is a half of what x is, then x is double what y is. Does that make sense? Like, let's say y is a half of x. Let's say a half of 10 is 5. Then x, if y is a half of x, then x has to be double what y is. Does that? Because I'll show you why. Y equals 1/2 x is y equals, on the top line I've got 1x, on the bottom I've got 2. If I want to make x on its own, what's the opposite of dividing by 2? So therefore 2y or 2 times y is x. But doesn't it make sense if something's half of something else, then the other one's double what it is? All right? So if y is a half of x, then x would be double what y is. What's 2 times 1.25? Yeah, it's 2.5. Okay, bit of a tricky one. All right? So if you've got half of what I've got, then I've got double what you've got. All right, girls, I know that's tricky. What about, how did you go with C? All good? You can see y-intercept is 2. Just choose 2 nice points. The gradient is rise over run. I'm getting 2 over 2. What's 2 divided by 2? It's just 1. So the equation is y equals 1x plus 2, or just y equals x plus 2. So if x is 3.7, do you get it? Y is 3.7 plus 2 is 5.7. So let's have a look. Oh, I've made a mistake. Thank you very much. 2 over negative 2. Thank you. 2 over negative 2 is negative 1. So it's negative 1x plus 2. So I made a mistake. What's negative 3.7 plus 2? I think it's negative 1.7. Sorry, girls. So it's y equals negative x plus 2. And the other thing is you look at it and you say, that's a negative gradient. Do you know what I mean? Negative. Negative, positive. Got it? Yeah, so 2 up to backwards negative 2. So gradient is negative 1. All right, girls? We're on the 3rd page, and I've got y equals a half x minus 1. The y-intercept is the constant minus 1, and the gradient is what? What's the gradient? Good. So the rise is run 1 and the run is 2. So how do we do this? We always plot. So we were plotting gradients before and we didn't know where to start on that first page. Do you remember? Here we're plotting gradients, don't know where to start, right? But this, we do know where to start. We know that the y-intercept is negative 1, so that's my starting point. Now I do my gradient of rise 1, run 2. And if you want, you can do it a couple of times to get 3 points. You ready? Start from here. Rise 1, run 2, dot, rise 1, run 2, dot, and join. Shh. Got the idea? And don't put that horrible thing in there. This is y equals 2x plus 0. There is no y-intercept, it's 0. The gradient is 2 or 2 over 1. So we're going to rise 2 and run 1. So here's my starting point at 0. Rise 2, run 1. Got it? Up 2, across 1. And you will join your points. Y equals x minus 3. The y-intercept is negative 3. The gradient is 1 because it's 1x. Rise 1, run 1. Plot your y-intercept of negative 3 and then up 1, across 1. Up 1, across 1. So up 1, across, etc. Got it? And the last one, y equals negative 2x plus 2. The y-intercept's 2. The gradient's negative 2 over 1 or 2 over negative 1. What do you want to do? Do you want to do 2 over negative 1 or negative 2 over 1? I don't mind. What do you prefer? Anyone? I'll do both. So from the y-intercept, I'm going to go down 2 across 1, but I'm also going to go up 2, back negative 1. So you can do it either way. Gradient's negative, it should look like this. So you can go 2 over negative 1 or negative 2 over 1. I don't mind which way.